my passion is for science. My passion is for science, for medical science, for biophysics and biochemistry science. And I started for medicine first, so I became a physician. But then my PhD courses were in the field of cardiovascular biochemistry, studying the effect of the different type of damage to vascular wall and protection of this damage. Since then, I realized that the mechanism underlying the vascular wall damaged with collagen exposure is very similar with what's happening on the skin surface. Skin is the largest organ in the body, but the capacity of protecting yourself are very limited. We are developing innovative ingredients to detoxify skin from harmful effects of solar radiation, tobacco smoke pollution, and other harmful chemicals. Yeah, we decided to start Kutanios, which is to develop a totally new approach to the skincare, to detoxify the skin of harmful chemicals. The idea is science-based, as I already mentioned, and it's based on 3 big discoveries of Professor Norman Miller, who discovered the role of HDL, good cholesterol, in prevention of cardiovascular disease and stroke. His second big discovery is that the small part of HDL proteins can bind and detoxify toxic lipid peroxides, which are damaging to the cell and its surrounding. His third discovery that the concentration of these toxic lipid peroxides in tissue fluid collected from skin is much greater, more than 10 times greater in tissue fluid compared with their concentration in blood.
The lipid peroxides that are formed in skin by sunlight and atmospheric pollutants and tobacco smoke have several effects on skin cells and on the proteins between the skin cells that are important in our appearance. For example, there's a protein in the skin called collagen that Irina mentioned that is important for giving the skin strength. There's another protein called elastin, which gives elasticity. The cells have many different functions in skin. And also the DNA is important, of course. All of those things that I've mentioned can be damaged by lipid peroxides, and there's good evidence that they all contribute to the aging process. Our peptides enter skin. They bind these lipid peroxides. They act like, if you like, magnets or sponges and sort of mop up the lipid peroxides. And that prevents them from having the harmful effects on the proteins and on the cells and on the DNA. At the same time, the peptides stick to the surfaces of the cells, and so when the cells are lost from the skin by the normal processes, they take the peptide and the lipid peroxides with them. So very little will enter the blood. Most of it will be lost. So it's a kind of a cleansing process, a detoxification process that will protect the skin from the harmful effects of these lipid peroxides. The role of lipid peroxides in skin conditions has been completely neglected. It's been known from scientific research for many years that lipid peroxides develop in skin. It's been known also that from other work that lipid peroxides have bad effects on cells. But nobody has brought these two together. And at the moment in the skincare industry, there is no ingredient which specifically targets these chemicals, even though we know they're being produced all the time. They're increased by sunlight, and by all sunlight, not just by ultraviolet light, by all sunlight. They're increased by tobacco smoke, and they're increased by all common atmospheric pollutants. We know that they're being produced, we know they're there, but there is no ingredient, surprisingly, in the skincare industry at this point, which targets them, and our product will be the first one.
My envisage in the future that application of creams will be topical and very targeted to particular needs of everyone, very individual. And that's what we're aiming for. So at the moment, our ingredients, new component, is also very targeted, but it's targeted to specific harmful particles, which produced in modern polluted environment. In future, we will be targeting particles and particular problem within the body, within cells.